morning. When I was here the last time listening to the story of Equity Works, I was so reminded of the experience I had some years back when I was in the United States. I was working in a community-based healthcare organization and worked there for a number of years. We were in a rural part of the state, and over the years had developed a unique culture and creativity, innovation. We did away with managers and supervisors a number of years back when money was short, and put the money instead to client services, and organized by self-organizing work teams. We had a number of innovative programs that some of them had national attention, many of them had state attention as model programs, and a staff that were just really energetic and engaged. We had self-organizing work teams that organized their own work, and people were busy. We were busy. We had stress. We had too much to do, not enough money, and all that stuff that was typical. But we had the good fortune of a amazing leader. David was our CEO and had been there for probably 25 years, 25, 30 years. And David loved to talk, and he loved to listen, and never made any decisions without getting input from everybody. And empowered people to make decisions. So continued to disperse power, and it's also the interface between the organization and the governance. We had a board of directors, we had government funding, we had a number of external sources that we were accountable to, but David was always our buffer. He would connect with them and protect us as an organization, and did that incredibly well. And we were happy. We weren't always happy. We were overworked and underpaid and all of that, but felt good about where we worked, and felt proud of it, and appreciated the culture we had. And so David was getting on in years and kept saying, I'm not going to be here forever. And he said, yeah, going on about our work. And he said, I'm going to retire one of these days. Yeah. And finally says, I'm going to retire in about 4 years. Okay, yep. And he said, well, now it's going to 3 years, so I'm going to retire. What are you guys going to do? And yep, we kept on working. We were happy. We were contented. And David was taking care of us, and everything was good. It's 2 years. What are you going to do? And we got down to about a year to go, and decided we're going to have to do something about this. How are we going to replace David? How are we going to go on without David here? And we had a couple of day conversation with the board of directors. Any of the staff who wanted to come came. We were an organization of about 100 employees at that time, and I think probably about half of the employees came for the conversation. We had some of our clients were there, and we had a conversation for a couple of days about what are we going to do? How are we going to replace David? How's the board going to find a new CEO for us? And the reality was, in the conversation what came up is our culture is really precious to us. What we have here is unlike what we experience anywhere around us. We like what we have, we like the way we work, and if you bring in somebody new, that's at risk, and we were scared. We don't want somebody coming in and changing things and taking away the unique aspects that we love about this organization. And at the same time, we acknowledged that there was nobody in the organization who was capable of stepping into David's shoes, or those that might have had capability didn't want to. I was one of them. I didn't want the responsibility that David had. I loved the shared responsibility we had under David's protection. And So the board was wondering about how we're going to replace David. And the message from the staff and the organization was, we don't want a new CEO to come in here and change things. So what are we going to do? We talked around and around and around about it, and finally came up with a proposal. We had some senior leadership. There were 7 of us that were in senior leadership that consulted with David a lot, and actually day-to-day operations of the organization were run by this team of 7 with David just providing protection, providing support, providing encouragement, and accountability to the board. What came of it was the proposal that maybe we don't need a CEO. Maybe we don't need a hero leader to protect us and to take care of us. Maybe we've grown up enough as an organization that we can share that. And the idea that came out of it, I truly don't think any of us had this idea going into the conversation. And after a couple of days of conversation, what came of it was, let's see if we can share. We have teams. We have self-organizing teams that are doing their work really well. What if we had a team that acted in the place of the executive? So we don't have a single leader, but we have shared leadership. And the board was pretty skeptical. Told us to go back and think about this. They weren't sure they wanted that. They wanted a sense of accountability. Who do we hold accountable for it? So we went back and researched this and talked about it, and came back with a proposal to the board. And the message of the whole organization was so strong that the board finally said, yeah, we'll give it a try. Let's give it an experiment for a year. And so we then had some hard work to do of identifying what it is that David had done. What are the roles that we had attributed to a CEO that now were going to be shared? And how would this team operate in a way that we could share those responsibilities and still be effective, still get stuff done without spending all of our time in meetings talking about stuff? And so it was an opportunity to adapt and to learn. And the board bought off on it, and it became a leadership team of 7. We were collectively accountable to the board of directors, and teams are accountable to the team of 7. And we tried it for a year, and it worked. And it's now been going on for close to 20 years and is still working. And my point in sharing the story is not that that's a solution that I proposed in any other organization. I don't know if it will work anywhere else, but it worked there. And it came out of conversation. It came particularly out of David continuing to remind us he's not going to be there forever. And saying that what you do without me is up to you. What are you going to do with it? And allowing us to have the conversations and to be listening to each other, what was important to us, how can we preserve the culture of this organization as we change. So we actually moved from a hero leadership to a shared leadership, a participatory leadership, and good things came of it. And so I just share that because I was really struck the last session. I came away saying, what I sensed there was healthy complacency. People trust Steph and Kobe, and everybody has their work to do. You got your own focus, and yeah, they'll take care of it. And when we debriefed at the end of the session last time, the first thing that I heard from Steph and Kobe was lots of good stuff here, lots of work to do, lots more stuff to put in my backpack that we've got to do for the organization. And just a sense of how much is being put on the leaders, and they can't carry it forever. And the sense of, I labeled it healthy complacency, because I think people are so engaged in their work and what they're doing that they trust. They trust and they're comfortable, and you've got a leader you can trust. But that won't be there forever. And the question is, how do you as an organization adapt and prepare for the changes that are coming? And as I say, it took us a year to figure out how we took all those roles that we depended forever on David to do, and how we could share those among ourselves in creative ways to get the same stuff done, but to not be dependent on one person anymore. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it.